My pod is Boston, my pod is pure. I've got a Mucka, his name is Jord. It's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, and we're gonna talk about some characters that ain't even real. I hope someone gives a shit. Ah, kid. There you go. Hey guys, welcome to Mukkapod, the weekly one-stop shop for all things in the world of geek culture and fandoms. Whether we're talking about movies, TV shows, anime, comics, gaming, you name it, we've got it. And if we ain't got it, you don't fucking need it. I'm your host, Jay, and with me, as always, is easily one of my top 5 favourite people of all time, the Sidonian himself, Jord. How's it going, mate? You alright?
How's it going, mate?
All good, man.
I'm good. I just want to point out before we start recording, I make both of us count down from 5 and then clap. So I've got the audio and visual cue, and this week Jay decided that he was going to clap outside of shot, which was great.
I didn't want to fuck. I've got last week I had some audio issues because I kept looking away from my mic, and I didn't want to I've got it in front of my face this week on more microphone than man, and I didn't want to knock it out the way. So I've done everything in my power this week to try and fix these syncing issues, man. I, unlike you, am not perfect, so you have to give me a bit of.
It's difficult to be perfect, mate. So I understand.
So yeah, this is Mukkapod. For those of you who are new to the podcast, where it's sort of like a geek culture podcast. We talk about everything. It's not like a movie only podcast, anime only podcast. We talk about everything, so you don't need to go anywhere else. We're kind of like the B&Q of podcasts, really.
Yeah, we talk about whatever we want.
Nah, absolutely, and nobody's going to stop us.
Yeah.
So how it works? We've cherry picked some topics from this week in sort of like the news and stuff that's been going down in the movie sphere, and then we've got a main topic this week. It's going to be an Attack on Titan retrospective. I've never seen it. My first time watching it this week, so it's going to be good to get into that. And then kind of at the end, we just have a little bit of a chat. It's a segment called Azzitgewin, which is black country slang when you want to know how your muck has been getting on that week. So let's
I'm going to explain black country slang by using black country slang.
Absolutely, man. Basically, right, Azzitgewin means Azzitgewin.
Azzitgewin.
Okay, so newsy news. Rian Johnson's Star Wars film is still happening, man. Director of The Last Jedi, which is a universally loved film that just never causes any controversy, and no one's got anything bad to say about it. So director of The Last of Us, Rian Johnson, has recently confirmed that he's still planning to develop a trilogy of Star Wars movies for Lucasfilm. This was confirmed after a lengthy interview by USA Today reporter Sarah Wilson, after she spoke to Ryan, and she put up on her Twitter that before anybody asks, I'm going to get inundated with this. Yes, they're still doing the Star Wars trilogy with Ryan. We don't know the time scale of it, but it's still happening. This is good news, I think, for you and me.
I think it's good news because we like that film.
I like it more than most.
We saw it together in the cinema, and I thought it was pretty good.
No, absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that the film's got no flaws. Do you know what I mean? Because that would be kind of pointless and wrong and not at all accurate. Do you know what I mean? But do you know, a lot of the problems with that film are kind of like his take on these legacy characters, and I do understand, like, you've waited this long for the continuation of Luke Skywalker's story, do you know what I mean? Because that's essentially what this film was. You know, he was in The Force Awakens for 0.5 of a second, he had no dialogue, and this was Luke Skywalker's film, and to wait that long for it, as I know a lot of us did, and then to get what we've got, I can understand why that's disappointing. But I would like to see what Ryan could do when he sort of just played in this sandbox with his only restrictions being it's a Star Wars film and it's not informed by what happened in the film before it, and it's not dealing with already established characters. I'm not going to lie, the only things I've seen by Rian Johnson are that Star Wars film and Knives Out, and I enjoyed both of those films, so it's like the headline here is director whose films I've enjoyed making more films that I will most likely enjoy. So I'm all for it. No, yeah, absolutely. I'm a bit more familiar with Rian Johnson. He directed maybe one of the best episodes of Breaking Bad. I know you're not a huge fan.
Okay.
He did 2 episodes. One's a bottle episode that I like, but it's a bit of a hot topic amongst the community of whether that's a good episode or not. But the other episode that he did is like the culmination of everything that was going on in Breaking Bad. Like like the episode where it reaches critical mass in a TV show and shit goes down. He directed that.
Okay.
And he's brilliant. In terms of visuals, even in The Last Jedi, I thought his visuals were great. But
Visuals were great. One of my favourite Star Wars fight scenes is in The Last Jedi.
Oh, the throne room scene.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's brilliant. I think it's really good. It might be my favourite part of the film.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I like the crate battle as well. For again, more so for the visuals. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you some of the stuff that was set up for us, the mystery boxes that JJ laid for us, weren't just like disregarded by Rian, which was probably not a good move. But yes, this new trilogy, it was kind of oddly absent when Disney in December kind of announced their Star Wars slate of like Disney Plus shows and stuff. So it's got Disney Plus. Ooh, Disney Plus shows. So I am happy to. I am happy to see that it's still going on because it hasn't really been spoken about since 2017. So I'm glad that they didn't.
No, I think obviously there was so much speculation that it had been cancelled, just like the Game of Thrones guys trilogy.
That got quietly pushed to the side. I'm glad this one hasn't suffered the same fate. I'm glad they didn't bow down to kind of like the backlash off the back of it. Do you know what I mean? So interesting and good to know, and yeah, very much looking forward to that. Yes, Cara Dune died on the way back to her home planet, man. That's so we spoke last week about Gina Carano, some of the stuff that she's been putting on Twitter, poking the bear for a while. I won't go into that again, but one of the lingering questions.
Yeah, go watch last week's.
Yeah, go watch last week's podcast, man. Definitely. But one of the lingering questions that we had, which we didn't really touch on because we'd kind of gone on about it for a while, is where does this leave the character of Cara Dune? Is she going to be recast? Like, they were setting up some interesting stuff with her in terms of like her background coming from Alderaan, and she was probably going to be
recast by Don Cheadle.
That would be awesome. That's been going around this week, hasn't it? The petition. Look, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it. Drop it. But no, a Disney spokesperson has apparently confirmed to The Hollywood Reporter that the character will not be recast going forward. It's a shame. She was a decent enough character to take a little bit more of an objective view on everything, taking the outside politics of it all and putting that in the bin for a little bit. She was a decent enough character in the actual show, and it was well performed. She was,
but I don't think it's a character that is essential to the Star Wars universe.
Oh, absolutely.
She hasn't got any amazing powers. She can't do anything that they can't just write another character to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's got quite a standard skill set. Like, yeah, she's nowhere near essential or irreplaceable.
Nah, not even close.
No, so whatever interesting stuff that they were setting up with her, I hope they wrap that up in a different character. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no more Cara Dune. Not particularly too sad about that. Like you said last week, the Boba Fett series looks much better anyway. So
yeah. And you know what I can see them doing is starting this series that they were going to be doing a year later, and then just sort of referencing Cara Dune and saying, "Yeah, she dead, didn't she? She died in this battle that helped set up this new sort of."
Oh no! There's a great meme.
Fighters.
There's a great meme that I'll send you, and you can put it on screen during this section where it's just like chapter 19, the accident, like in the Mandalorian titles, and it's Cara Dune and baby.
Sure that I sent that to you.
You sent it to me.
Yeah,
you know the one I'm on about. Then it's on screen somewhere right now. But that's how I want them to reference it. To be fair, do you know what I mean? Plus, we know that Disney takes digital casts of their actors, don't they? It wouldn't be the first time they brought somebody back for Star Wars that had no knowledge that they were even being used. So it would just be nice if we get a South Park chef kind of situation where she's killed off in like the most unceremonial way possible. Right, okay, so we have got the announcement of a new series of documentaries coming to Disney+. These are going to be made by Marvel Studios, and the series is called Assembled. And this is a new documentary series of specials that will go behind the scenes of the shows and movies of the MCU.
I'm all about it.
Yep, the first one's due to start streaming on March 12th, and that's about Wandavision. Really good, especially since kind of like that decline in physical media. In terms of getting more and more streaming shows. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? It's the first one of the podcast. I'll explain that later. But no, yeah, sort of like... Although these shows are quality, we're getting more and more on the streaming. I was always a stickler for those commentaries and behind the scenes that you would get on Blu-ray and DVD box sets, if that makes sense.
Yeah, me too. And I've always been a fan of the behind the scenes sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, I started teaching myself to edit when I was younger, and I always found how these shows and stuff are made just super interesting, almost as interesting as the shows itself. For me, anyway.
Kevin Smith describes it the best when he says when he's talking about movies, and he says, "I know how the sausage is made," and I think that's the best way of saying it. And I do like to see kind of how the sausage is made. So March 12th takes us after the last episode of WandaVision, if I'm doing the quick maths correctly there.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be like probably. Series wraps up, and then we've got this out the next week or the same day as the finale. So that's I'm all about it, and then yeah, going forward with going forward with the more shows that they've got in the movies and stuff. If that's all going to go to Disney Plus, I'm very much here for that. So
yep,
awesome. You sent this to me last night, actually.
I did, yeah.
Florence
Pugh. She's arrived in Atlanta for some MCU filming, sort of. Well, what we think is MCU filming, because that's where they're currently recording Hawkeye. They're currently shooting Hawkeye. And it sort of backs up the theory that she's going to be taking on the mantle of Black Widow from now on, which, yeah, I'm all for.
That's a theory of yours that broke on this podcast and nowhere else before. And that's a Jord original, that is. It's a spicy hot take. If it's not for Hawkeye, then it's just a freakish coincidence, because she's been attached to this project as far as I'm aware. There were rumblings that she was going to be in it. In what capacity, we don't know. I kind of theorised that maybe Clint's still kind of haunted by the ghost of his past a little bit there, because obviously he was the one that had
think
to.
This show is going to explore a lot more of his time during having no family and having no Avengers.
Also though, like he's the one like he probably internalizes it, knowing what he probably internalizes it, knowing the character of Clint as much as we do. He probably internalizes it that he is the one who killed Natasha. So,
or at least he's the reason that it's happened.
Absolutely. Yeah, he should have gone in his place. It was my fault because it should have been me. So when these two characters meet on screen, if of course your theory, that is your theory and no one else's, and it broke on this podcast, I do want to make that clear. If your theory turns out to be correct and this is the new Black Widow, is he going to be kind of asking for forgiveness, or is he going to be more of a Harry Potter, how dare you stand where he stood kind of situation?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe she turns up to kill him.
Matter what, she's up for some good old fashioned revenge.
Yeah, maybe she hears that it was his fault that she dies. Like they went to do this thing together and only he came back, so she might be there to kill him.
And how much of that information is public knowledge as well? Like, where is Natasha? What have you done with her? It's like, well, she's fucking dead. But we had to. Do you know what I mean? So
I think it's public knowledge at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
No,
can't remember if we've had anything that backs that up, but I think we do. Well, we know that the fight in Wakanda's at least government knowledge from WandaVision. So
yes, on the at the Avengers base, not Wakanda.
It wasn't, was it?
The one at the Avengers base, the one at the end of Endgame.
I'm saying the one at the end of Infinity War is at least public knowledge. Someone's relaying that to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've had confirmation.
I'm getting my wires crossed. I'm thinking when they're going on about, she could have took out Thanos by herself. Captain Marvel got closer. Do you know what I mean? And that's the conversation I'm thinking of. Sorry, I'm getting my wires crossed there. But no, I'm all for it. I'm all about Florence Pugh. Don't really know her from much else, to be fair, other than the trailer.
You should definitely check out. I've mentioned this before, but you should definitely check out Fighting with My Family.
Fighting with My Family. Yes, you have mentioned that to me before.
Yeah, you and your missus sit down for a nice evening and stick that on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she'd enjoy that, man. Yeah. So we've got some trailers to break down there. We've got one or two trailers, and I propose a new segment here. So when we've got a trailer that's come out, or when we've got a new concept that we need to
This
decide...
is not copied from anyone.
This is a completely original segment of where we decide whether something's sound as a pound or down on the ground. Or, in the extreme case that we're really hyped for, it's sound as a pound that you found on the ground.
Oh, that's quite up there. That might sound like it's in between, but that's really up there.
That is like, there's nothing sweeter than a pan that you found on the ground.
Yeah. Shall we explain this?
Huh?
Should we explain this at all?
No, Google it. Google's a thing. It's like, you come here for a cultural experience and a podcast, man. Enrich yourself. Right. So, Justice League's got a trailer out. What did you think?
It has
putting you on
great
the spot
aspect
there.
ratio. I really like the aspect ratio of that trailer.
The Instagram kind of square.
Yeah, and the reason apparently that's the dimensions for what is it, IMAX, when you actually go and see it in the cinema or something.
Oh, really?
But I didn't watch that trailer in the cinema. I watched it on YouTube and it looked like shit.
I was going to say, very few people are watching that in the cinema, so like, optimise it for where people are going to consume it, please. But outside of the aspect ratio, looking into that little square, what did you think?
I think it's too hard to say at this point, because we also had a really good trailer for the original Justice League, and that was dog shit.
I remember having a conversation with you when that first trailer dropped, like, oh mate, do you know what I mean? Knowing that we'd been kicked by Batman vs Superman as well, to get excited for that was probably a little bit naive, but it was a good trailer, do you know what I mean?
Well, it was a really good trailer, and it was a really bad film, so I don't think that we can't judge a Justice League by its cover, is what I'm saying.
No. I agree, mate. I think a lot of stuff that we see in this trailer is either been in trailers before and was cut out of the movie, or is noticeably in the original movie. And it kind of... I don't know, I got weird vibes from it. It kind of struck me as one of those like kind of fan edit trailers. Do you know when somebody's made an Avengers versus X-Men coming soon trailer, and it's scenes from different films cobbled together? It's kind of like that, but no. I thought
Jay, we live in a society, don't we?
We do live in a society, mate. So unfortunately, we live in a society. Woke up yesterday, stubbed my toe first thing in the morning, cried. We live in a society. Do you know what I mean? No one talks to each other on the bus anymore, mate. We live in a society. So.
God, can you imagine being sat on the bus on the way to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and some weirdo just tries to strike up a conversation with you?
No,
I'd be late to work because I'd get off at the next stop and walk the rest of the way.
Do you know why? Do you know why you've got that mentality and you wouldn't just say good morning to? Because we live in a
society,
we live in a society. Yeah. He must know. We're obviously referencing the Joker appearing as the sort of stinger at the end of this trailer, who says his immortal line from the memes that live in a society, and Zack must know that is a massive meme, which leads me to believe that this entire thing is just going to be a 4-hour shitpost.
Yeah, and the best part of it was, like, there's a brief gap after the line. Like, that's not the full line. Obviously, joke isn't just we live in a society. There's more to that sentence.
Yeah, but they leave that to
pause.
Yeah,
in between.
That was intentional. That was intentional to either get people talking about it and memeing about it for kind of promotion, or just because they're kind of tone deaf to it. But I don't think you can work on these properties and not know the meme culture surrounding them. I think that's impossible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's dropped his weird Heath Ledger voice, hasn't he? He's sounding a little bit more like he's coming into his own as the Joker. I don't know. I don't know about this. It's kind of like I could put it down on the ground, but I don't think it'll quite be sound as a pan. Do you know what I mean?
It's somewhere in between for me. And also the makeup was just a bit like when I give my my kids some red sauce, some tomato ketchup with a meal, and she just gets it all over herself.
I'll repeat my joke from last week that it's like the scene in Matilda where the fat kid eats a ton of cake.
Yeah,
it does look like that. To be fair, he is in an apocalypse though. Like, give him some credit. You're lucky that he's even putting makeup on at all. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't put any fucking makeup on if I was in the apocalypse. You know what I mean? I'd be
you don't need to though, Jay.
I'd have to eat the radiated flesh of dead men instead. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be on about that cake. Do you know what I mean? But
well, we never know. Maybe that's what he's been doing.
That's it. It's just residue of
eating it like it's cake.
Yeah, I mean, like it's fucking eating it like it's cake. I find it funny when people drop their cupcake on the floor and it barely touches the floor and it's like in the bin, and I'm like, nah, mate, like wait until the apocalypse comes. You'll eat your fucking cupcake there, won't you? So, March 18th for a global release as well. Zack tweets out, well, there's going to be no waiting between streaming services. It comes out on March 18th and it's available everywhere. What does that mean that we're getting it on? Say again, sorry?
What does that mean that we in the UK are getting it on? It's going to be Now TV or something horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Like I've got a smart TV, and whenever I switch that on, it just says what Wonder Woman watch now. Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether that's available directly through Samsung or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It might be like, okay, you can buy it on iTunes this date.
Yeah, so something like that. Well, rent it. You won't be able to buy it.
I'll just be downloading it. As I've said before, I've already paid to see Justice League. We've
established that they owe you money. Do you know what I mean?
They owe me money. So
watch it, but don't pay for it, George. You know what I mean? I'll chuck in a book to be the honourable member of this podcast, but you were way more wrong than I was. So don't watch it. Don't pay for it even. The next trailer. Am I going to shout it or am I just going to say it?
No, you're going to shout it.
Shall we shout it together?
Nah, because we did it before we started recording.
Mortal Kombat! I fucking sold that. That was beautiful. Mortal Kombat's got a 2021 reboot coming out, Jord, and there was a trailer a few weeks ago, but it wasn't so much a trailer as it was just a look at what happened. Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
15 seconds long. No, it didn't fill me full of hope, man. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of one of those things that I watched and I'm like, it's going to be shit, innit? And then earlier in the week, they had some character posters came out. I texted you about them and we were like, it's going to be a bit shit, innit? But the trailer actually gave me that kind of excited butterfly feeling. Do you know the kind of feeling I'm on about?
Good.
Yeah, it does.
It genuinely looks pretty good.
Let's face it. I'm not looking for high art. I'm not expecting a Mortal Kombat movie to change my life. Are you? We're not.
I was.
You was. Well, it ain't going to happen, mate. Tough shit.
Okay.
Shit. The narrative is inevitably going to be the worst part of this. That they have invented a character for it as well, which is a whole other different
That's
topic.
A weird choice. It's not like they didn't have enough. Or
the guy that's got the
just recolour Sub-Zero and make recolours in there.
Dr. Cold.
Dr. Cole.
What did you say before the podcast?
A couple of things.
Mr. Snow.
Mr. Snow.
Captain Chili. No, the man with the dragon tattoo. It's this, or the dragon birthmark, which is a funny line in itself. How did you get that? It's a birthmark. How did you get it? He was born with it. It's like, yeah, that's what a fucking birthmark is. You know, cheers for that information, dickhead.
Maybe he's born with it.
Maybe it's
a dragon tattoo.
No, the guy with the dragon tattoo, he's been invented for it. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, nor do I care to look it up, but could have been Johnny Cage, could have been anybody. But yeah, the narrative, that story through line is probably going to be the worst aspect of this, but that's not what I'm here for.
I want to see some people get brutally murdered.
Absolutely.
And you know what? This trailer seems like we're going that way. I mean, that bit with the blood ice pick.
I love that scene. I love that. You know, like, all I'm here for, and I was about to say this, is give me these game accurate character designs, fighting in creative ways and using real martial arts, and it looks like we're getting that. Like you just pointed out, Sub-Zero gets cut by Scorpion and he freezes his own blood in midair and then stabs him in the shoulder blade with it. Fucking beautiful, man. Such a sweet move, and if there's more stuff in there like that, I'm here for it. I like that scene as well where Scorpion, kind of pre-Scorpion, is in Japan and doing some ninja kind of stealthy shit, and that looked kind of creative. That scene, played by Hiro. I need to pronounce this properly. Sorry, Hiroyuki Sanada. which I've seen him in a couple of stuff. He was in the Wolverine. He was the guy that Hawkeye fights in Avengers Endgame. He's the Japanese character actor that you get when you haven't got the budget to get Ken Watanabe. It's that guy. So no, absolutely, mate, absolutely. Big sand as a pan for me. I don't think it's going to be quite sand as a pan that you found on the ground, but it's
Ken Watanabe owns a cafe in Japan, and he'll just go in there and show up to the regular patrons whenever he's in town, and just like, Azitgewin.
What a fucking legend, man!
Absolutely,
big fan of Ken Watanabe, but tons of little Easter eggs in the trailer as well. You see Goro pop up for a second. You get to see all the Raiden and Liu Kang. Yeah, I don't need to say anything else about it. It comes out on April 16th. It looks good. We're going to watch it. I'm
going to watch it.
Absolutely. Mate, can you believe that Deadpool's 5 years old?
He looked older than that in the films.
Can you believe it? If you're not going to take this seriously, I'm just going to go, mate.
Oh, yeah, okay.
5 years since 2016. That is fucking shameful, man.
That sounds about right to me. I don't know. We've had so much stuff since the original Deadpool film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I don't know, man. I was kind of thinking last night when I was typing this up that because I'm not just bringing that up for shits and giggles. There's a story attached to it, but I was kind of thinking how long it felt between 2005 and 2010, and in comparison, the last 5 years has just shot by. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to be I can't even start with it, man. But no, there was a reason for me bringing this up, because on the 5-year anniversary, Ryan Reynolds shared a fan letter on his tweets, on his Twitter, where somebody has wrote him from whether it's a real person, I don't think it is, I think it's a gag, but somebody's wrote him from the from this perspective of somebody doing an English project, writing to his heroes, saying how fantastic it was that the film was rated R, and addressing it to Mr. Deadpool and stuff like that, and Ryan Reynolds responded, but everything that he says in the letter, it's dated 2016, but everything he said is like intentionally poorly aged. So he starts by saying, "Thank you, I'm glad you enjoyed the R rating. We would never have gotten away from it if Disney had the movie rights to Deadpool, and that it's a complete privilege to wear a mask, and you can expect the sequels to come out every 2 years like clockwork." He says, "I can't wait to shake all my fans' hands when Deadpool 3 comes out in 2020. Keep in touch on Vine and stay on fleek."
That's brilliant.
I love it. He says he's got a small investment in Fire Music Festival as well, which is another one. Did you know about the?
Yeah, of course I do.
No, yeah. I'd heard nothing about it, so I was looking.
There's a really, really, really good internet historian video that you should definitely check out.
I am really interested in this. I'll check. Can you link me after the pod?
Yeah. I mean, I watched a couple of the actual documentaries as well, but the thing I enjoyed the most was definitely the internet historian video. Good YouTuber. Check them out.
Yeah, no, just I love Ryan Reynolds' sense of humour. That just shines through with this.
Definitely. It's the Deadpool sense of humour, isn't it? It's he takes it everywhere with him these days.
He is Deadpool. Like I remember back in the day before the Deadpool film was even a glint in the milkman's eye, for lack of a better word, and he was interviewed. He was interviewed about his role in Blade Trinity. And he said to the interviewer, like, "Oh, what you mean when I play Deadpool in the Blade movies?" No, fond memories of that movie, man. Like, I'm glad that film exists. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that got made. I think the history behind it is quite an intriguing looking. But
yeah.
Oh, I've got a real frog in my throat today, man. I do apologise.
It's alright.
I've got a big fucking.
Don't worry.
My missus brought me this for Valentine's Day.
Oh, bless. It looks like a normal size mug next to you, though, Jay. That's the problem.
Now, put that in the hand of a lesser man than me, someone who doesn't have the blood of the giants in him.
I tell you what we should have got is like a version this big on my side, so I can bring it in. Just like,
it just comes in on the back of a JC.
Yeah.
You know,
for those of you who don't know Jay in real life, he's a big man.
I'm a chunky boy. I'm a chunky boy. Good news, mate. Marvel's got their rights back to all the Netflix characters that they loaned out.
It's not really news. It's more like
It's a good bit of information to get.
It's a bit of information that we knew was coming. It's more like in August I'm going to turn 26, and then on the 20 in August I've turned 26.
No, but
that's basically what the news is.
But people will still say happy birthday. Do you know what I mean? So it's still official. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's happened, but we've known it's going to be happening for 3 years at this point.
I take your point. So it's not really news, but I do think it's good. Like Jessica Jones and the Punisher were the last kind of things to lapse back to Marvel. So now they've got everybody back under that one umbrella.
But are we going to see all of these characters? I don't think we are. I think maybe we'll see Daredevil. Maybe we'll see Punisher. I don't think Iron Fist and Luke Cage will get a look in unless they decide to do Heroes for Hire. Which
that would be sick. That would be sick, yeah.
And I don't think Jessica Jones will get a look in unless she gets a soft reboot.
I
just don't think that character fits in the universe.
Like a recast. Because I think you could probably, like you said, get a better Iron Fist out of this for definite. Luke Cage, you could probably use Luke Cage for something more than a Netflix series. I don't think you could get a better. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't be able to get a better Luke Cage. I think you could get a Luke Cage that's as good, but as far as actors go, that's nail on the head. That is such a good cast. Such a good casting choice.
I suppose he didn't blow me away, but I guess Luke Cage as the series didn't blow me away. So it's kind of like. Other characters in that series like Cottonmouth and what's her name? Black Mariah. That they were.
Yeah, they're both Oscar winners though.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying though. Get yourself a Luke Cage that's got a little bit more clout like that. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that I would pick, but I think that they could be doing more with Luke Cage than something on Netflix, something on Disney Plus. I think that Luke Cage could carry a franchise. Luke Cage could stand in that Avengers lineup while the music blasts at one of these pullback shots that they do in the big team up movies. And there's one of the big if trues going around at the moment is that Charlie Cox has filmed some scenes for this fucking Spider-Man 3 movie that we keep everyone at their mum's rumoured to be in. So would you recast? Are they recasting? Are they cherry picking? I think they'd be stupid not to keep Charlie Cox and John Bernthal.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah. They're the two best out of the Marvel shows by far.
Yeah, not just as characters, but their series as well.
Their series are the best
as a whole.
I think the actors are, apart from Luke Cage, who I do think just smashes that casting. I think they're the two best cast as well.
But standing next to that in sort of like a third place kind of thing for me anyway. Obviously it would be fourth for you, but in a third place for me, I enjoyed Jessica Jones. Particular
you
cast
say you enjoyed it, but like I bet you didn't even watch season 2, did you?
I'm
surprised you finished season 1. I saw every single Marvel Netflix series, even Iron Fist season 2. Yeah, that's right. I went back for more. And
I don't think I finished season 1 of Iron Fist. I was like, yeah, I get the gist of this.
To be fair, season 2's better. Yeah. Season 2's better.
Season 2's
better than The Defenders, which isn't difficult to say, but it's Iron Fist, so...
So that means something.
We should definitely have a topic about the Defenders one day.
That
most anticipated and most forgotten Marvel series of all time.
That came and went, man. That came and went. That's just good. It's good. It's a good topic of speculation, really. I'm interested to see what they're going to do. They're not going to leave those characters just sitting there doing nothing, but are they going to pick up from will there be like a Daredevil season 4 on Disney Plus that picks up from the Netflix shows, or are we going Scorched Earth reboot? Do you know what I mean? There's stuff that you can do.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, so I'm interested to get your take on this as our sort of like our podcast dedicated anime man.
I like Japanese cartoons.
You do, mate, a lot more than I do. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. But Godzilla is getting an anime. It's called another anime. The last one. The less said about that, the better.
So you told me to check out. There's 2 trailers, and you told me to check them out. When I watched the first trailer, I was on board. This looks movie quality. I keep knocking my microphone stand today. Sorry about that. But this looks movie quality. It looks really, really good. And then I watched the second trailer, and I was like, this can't be the same show. This looks shit.
You didn't like Jet Jaguar?
I thought that trailer was horrible. I thought it was really, really bad. I thought the first trailer looked absolutely solid, but because of that, I'll still give it a go. But I don't think I'll give it much more than 4 or 5 episodes if it's not.
Give it 4 episodes. That's my general rule anyway for any show. But it's got some big names.
Is that your general rule? No one else's general rule.
It's a rule I've adopted. It's a good way of gauging whether you're going to be interested. So to be honest with you, I forgot they did that. Do you know what I mean? So you can clip that out if you want. Do you know what I mean? But it's a general good rule of thumb to give it around 3 to 4 episodes, isn't it? The reason that this is in the news this week, though, is that the design of Godzilla has been posted online, and it is by acclaimed Studio Ghibli animator AGG. Am I pronouncing that right? Azzitgewin
I don't know.
Maaaate? That sounds right to me, yeah. This guy worked on Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke. I think he looks beautiful. I think
he looks beautiful. The guy or the Godzilla?
Godzilla.
Okay,
Godzilla.
right.
I don't know what the guy looks like. You know what I mean? He's probably not my type, but I wouldn't kick him out of bed. But Godzilla, on the other hand, that would be my wifey for life. He's got a good blend of kind of like the classic. The classic design and the newer, chunkier designs, and he's got that kind of.
He's a big boy, isn't he?
He's a chunky boy.
Big boy.
I don't think the Japanese version has ever been that chunky. But the guy who designed him did say that he wanted to keep in mind that kind of original motif while making it wholly original, but also paying homage to sort of like that Showa era Godzilla, so like the ones from the 50s, and you can kind of see that in the he's got like the beady little eyes, and he's got like black charcoal skin, and
I'll have to take your word for it because I've never really seen anything Godzilla.
No, yeah, absolutely. Well, you will. Like,
I will. It's going to happen for this podcast, isn't it?
You said to me that Blue Exorcist is one of your favourite animes.
Yeah, season 1 of Blue Exorcist. It was one of the shows that got me into anime, and I've just this month picked up volume 1 because I thought I didn't really like the second season of the anime, so I thought I'll give the manga a try instead. Same as I did with JoJo.
Better.
I hear this is a good story, so I'm gonna give it a shot.
The reason I bring that up is because Kazue Kato, who works on Blue Exorcist, is providing character designs for this. So there's some big names behind it, man. So I hope it's everything you need and everything you want. And
yeah, do you know if it's the series or the film? Because I do have to say, I thought the Blue Exorcist film was beautifully animated. I thought it was really, really, really good.
Unsure, mate. I think it might be a series, but don't quote me on that. It could also be
no.
A film.
I mean, the series is still as far as, because this is going to be a series as well. It looks like. Series also pretty good.
Okay. So we're on to gaming news now, mate. There was the Nintendo Direct.
There was, and I decided that I was gonna, watch through it. Sat down, and obviously, if at this point listening to this, you know what happened during this Direct. I was sat down there thinking, right, we're gonna get Odyssey 2, right? We're gonna get Super Mario Odyssey 2, my favourite game of all time. We're gonna get a sequel to that. And we're going to get a Switch Pro announcement. It's been rumoured for like a year at this point. So I said to Jay, if we don't get Odyssey 2 or Switch Pro announcements, I'm quitting the podcast. And Jay said back to me, well, go on.
If we don't get Gen 4 Pokemon remakes or Crash Bandicoot for Smash Brothers, then I'll quit the podcast. So...
yeah, and then we decided that if we don't get any of that stuff, we'll both quit the podcast, start a new podcast, Mukkapod 2, and that's what you're watching today, basically, because we didn't get fuck all. I mean, even the thing, you're looking at a 50-minute Direct, right, and even the thing that you think might have been guaranteed at this point would have been Breath of the Wild 2. What we got was the director of that game coming on screen and saying, sorry, we've got no news, it's going well. I mean, what did I put here? Yeah, it's going smooth, and that's about it. Yeah,
they alluded to it, didn't they? They alluded that you get news later this year, so...
I mean, that game was announced so long ago at this point. But starting from the top of the notes that I've made about this Nintendo Direct, we're getting some Xenoblade characters, or is it a Xenoblade character? It seems
it's two. No Crash.
2 in 1.
This. I've got written down here some characters I've never heard of from a game I've never played. So
yeah, it's some characters from a JRPG.
That's going to piss someone off, I'm sure. Out there, somebody's put the caps
mate,
lock
YouTube chat was mad.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'll have you know that Xenoblade Chronicles is my favourite franchise ever. Do you know what I mean? But nah, it ain't Crash Bandicoot, is it?
No, I hear it's really, really good. I've got it on my DS, and I just never played it. I'm not a JRPG sort of guy.
It doesn't appeal to me either, mate, to be honest with you.
So the first thing that I picked up that I'm actually quite excited about was Fall Guys for Switch. I could have played it on my PC at the time, and all of chat was just shouting about how much of a dead game it is at this point. I don't care. It looked fun. I'm gonna have a go. I'll play it. I don't care if it's a dead game.
Yeah. No, I've never played it. Looks fun. Looks like a laugh. Probably good for streaming for you and me.
But we will,
channel,
But live streams coming soon. Definitely.
Excited a bit though.
Okay. I've never played a Monster Hunter game, but Monster Hunter Rise the new trailer that they showed at the Nintendo Direct looked pretty damn good. It looked like something I actually might check out.
Do you know what? On Monster Hunter, I have been in like game shops and I've been on PSN, and I have often looked at Monster Hunter World and thought that looks like my jam, but I've just never picked it up. But I've got too much to play at the moment. There's too much content, but yeah, it does look like a franchise. I'm pretty sure would be one of my things.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure they're adapting it into either a film or a series, so I probably will pick up one of the games before then.
Don't watch the Monster Hunter film, man. The buzz isn't good. It's Mila Jovovich doing her Resident Evil shtick, and apparently it was one of the worst things ever made by a human being. Yeah, so it's a shame,
God.
but yeah,
it's a shame that she exists outside of the Resident Evil films.
It's a shame that she exists. We'll cut that clip out of fucking context and get you cancelled all over the internet.
Okay, so for a brief microsecond, I was excited about this next game because I thought it wasn't what it actually is. But it's Mario Golf. It was Mario Golf. I saw, the Mushroom Kingdom sort of animation style, and I'm like, right, this is it, guys. Mario Odyssey 2. Come on, here we go. Pre-orders live after the show. Here we go. Demo in the eShop right now. No, it was Mario Golf. Why do they put resources into making these games?
They must make money.
Because they sell them for fucking 60 quid still. These should be a £10 game on the eShop.
I've got some thoughts. Can you bank that? Can you bank that particular thing? Because I've got some thoughts later on about the price of fucking games, mate. Just bank it for a second. Okay. I agree, but bank it.
Yeah. Star Wars Hunters, a third-person shooter, was announced as well.
Does it look any good?
We didn't get shown anything.
Oh.
It was basically, this is a logo.
See, it don't feel so good, does it? There wasn't even any nostalgic music with this one.
Shut up. I don't care. Nah, it's I'll check out when there's more to see. I'd never really been massively into Star Wars games, or I'd much rather play a game that's based like an original property for a game than a game based on something. I just feel like
licensed games are very hit and miss, aren't they?
Exactly. And yeah, as we've already mentioned, there's no Breath of the Wild 2 news. But they are making Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, which is a Wii game. And
Never played it.
There's some pretty nice looking Joy-Cons that I might pick up for my Switch. But something, and you said you want me to wait for this, but this HD remake is 60 quid. That's ridiculous. It's a remake of a game that you can literally buy. You can boot up your Wii U right now and buy it for £14.
Do you know what, mate? We'll fucking skip ahead. And we'll fucking talk about that now because I've got fucking opinion. Jord's absolutely right. I mean, there's a contingent of the internet at the moment though that's like, oh, shut up, you pause. Fucking pause, and it's like, no, I'm not having this. So let me regale you. Let me regale you with something from my week. Okay, I'll set the scene for you. I'm sat there. I'm having a pretty good day, right? And I see that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, the new exclusive game from Insomniac Games for PS5, has been given a release date, 11th of June 2021, and I'm thinking, oh mate, I love those sort of late 90s, early 2000s era platform games, and especially Ratchet and Clank, the kind of run and gun thing. I love the first three, and I haven't played a game for ages, but I would like to buy a game that's like developed solely for the PS5, so I can properly take my PS5 out for a test drive, because everything I've got for it at the moment has got like a PS4 port. So I put the release date on our little news document so that we could talk about it just in general, and then I went to Amazon to see whether I could get myself a little cheeky pre-order. Fucking how much money? It's $69.99. That is the only time I will ever say 69 and not follow it with nice, because it ain't nice.
Not nice. It's definitely not nice.
That is 1 penny off £70 for a fucking game, mate. £70.
Yeah, and it's like what I said to you when you sent me the screenshot of this, because Jay, he wasn't happy. It's what this is. They're trying to use a property that, you know, quite a lot of people like, to try and standardise this price.
Yeah, not in
Can you remember the days when a new game would come out at £30?
Yeah, back in the day.
Like a AAA PlayStation 1 game, you'd be paying like 20, 30 quid most.
PS2 eras, I remember specifically the stickers said $39.99 around that time, and I understand that like developers have got to eat, you know what I mean, and fucking, you know, like the manufacture cost of these things must have increased so much since then, and inflation and all that bollocks. I get it, but £70 is taking the piss, and at some point you've got to say this is too much money for a game. The rent is too damn high. It's 2012 all over again. That's back. Do you know what I mean? This is too much money.
Oh, you know what, Jay? I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Fucking hell. No, mate. It's like we work hard for our money. Do you know what I mean? I love my job. You probably like your job as well, but we can do our jobs there with a big fucking smile on our faces, right? We can sit there because we know at the end of the day we're gonna be able to sit down, have a couple of cans of energy drink, maybe a fruity cider if we ain't gonna be up too early in the morning, and play some fucking video games, right? But with these prices that just seem to have no cap and they go up and up and up, it's like, am I going to be able to afford something that I enjoy doing, or am I going to have to choose between? It shouldn't cost as much as a utility bill, do you know what I mean? Am I going to buy this new game, or am I going to fucking pay the gas bill so I can cook fucking egg and chips because I can't afford nice food because new games are 70 fucking quid?
Yeah, you won't ever see me paying more than 50 quid for a game.
No.
I paid 50 quid, I think. I've only paid 50 quid once or twice for a game in my entire life, and I'll never pay more than that. You're joking.
Mean, it's smart to wait for a price drop anyway, do you know what I mean? But there are going to be games that I'm going to be excited for, like the new God of War, that I will want to play that day one, because I want to get my hands on it and sort of enjoy that hype, that buzz on, you know, like the internet buzz that comes that first week of game comes out where everybody's playing it. But if it's going to be 70 quid, this might be the end times for me buying new games, man. I just think it's too much money, and I don't think that you and me should be the ones talking about this, because like that there hasn't really been much said about the price of these sort of Sony exclusives, and obviously you and me are building a platform, but we need fucking someone like Angry Joe or somebody with a platform to come out and be like, this is too much fucking money. We need
the Queen to be like, I wanted to buy my grandson Ratchet and Clank. Is it Ratchet and Clank?
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which looks great. It looks like a good game, do you know what I mean? But that's beside the point.
To be like, the rent is too damn high at this point.
Yeah, I mean, for that price, I'm expecting Ratchet to come to life and start fucking blowing me, do you know what I mean? Or something, do you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean. I think it was like, this came out and it was like 36 quid. And this is 3 of the best games of all time for half the price of Ratchet and Clank. Nah, get lost. I know those aren't new, but it's the principle, isn't it? Like, look at how much game you can get for your money if you look in the right place. You look at Enter the Gungeon on the Switch store. I bet it's less than 20 quid. I bet it's about 15, 16 quid. That is, if that's your sort of game, you will play that for 100 times longer than you'll play this new Ratchet and Clank game.
Yes, definitely.
You'll get so much more money, so much more game for your money. and then they're just trying to pull shit like this. It's just they want to standardise this as being acceptable.
Yeah, like the regular retail price for it. Absolutely, I'm not having that. Do you know what I mean? I'm like all these games that are 70 quid. Pardon me. All these games that are 70 quid are going to be like 20 quid.
Going to be like a great noise.
They're going to be like. Set it as your ringtone. No, all these games that are 70 quid now are going to be that price that you just mentioned, about 20 quid in 2 years time or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And if you want me to fucking wait for 2 years for the price to go down and buy them pre-owned so you see none of that money, I will fucking do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't give a shit.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Like I jumped on. I was just curious because I'm going to be sending you Mario Odyssey this week to have a playthrough. I was like, how much is this going for these days? It was less than 40 quid. The best and the best game that I've ever played. It's got so much content in it. And I'll tell you what, if Nintendo aren't charging 70 quid for their games, no one has the fucking right to. No one should be doing it.
No, mate. I got very animated about that, and I'm sorry for sort of shouting and going off on one, but that is like
you could beat me into a corner and I'd pay 60 quid for Odyssey 2.
Podcast, all this gear I brought for us, this new boom mic, a brand new fucking mic, a webcam. Do you know what I mean? They're not top end stuff, but all this costs less than £70, and this is gear. Do you know what I mean? This is stuff that I could use again and again and again. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous, man. And if you don't,
you buy that game,
sorry, George.
right, 70 quid. You buy that game for 70 quid. You play through it. You try and sell it a week later. You ain't going to get 20 quid for it. You're going to get 20, 30 quid for it, mate, at most, from somewhere like CEX or Game or GameStop or whatever your local game reseller is. It's not worth the money. Let's move on, because I don't like it when you get sad, when you get angry, Jay. It makes me sad.
I'm all good. I hope there was some. I've been told that my rants do bring joy to people, so I'm hoping there was some comedic stuff that you can glean from that. The only last thing that I'd say about Nintendo is just I think that they can be fairly out of touch with their audience sometimes. Do you know what I mean? They don't really read the room, do they? But
the most out of touch.
Yeah,
but that's more. I believe that to be more of a culture thing. But
yeah, potentially. I wish I had a state of play to look forward to as well. Is something else I wanted to say off the back of that, because PlayStation weirdly.
I wish I had a Nintendo Direct that actually showcased something that looks good.
Also, though, off the back of the sort of salty reaction, because you said the chat was not happy when you were watching it live.
No, it was like 90% shitty 2D JRPGs, and I know they have their audience, but it's not the audience. That stream, right, it peaked at over 1.4 million viewers. That is the highest viewed stream I've ever seen in my life.
People are excited to get their hands on
I
more
guarantee
stuff,
you, not one of those people was there to see, can't wait to see what JRPGs come out this year on the Switch. Can't wait to see what 2D games I can play on the Switch. No, they wanted to see Breath of the Wild 2. They wanted to see Odyssey 2. Okay, yeah, we got Splatoon 3. I don't give a shit about Splatoon, I'm sorry.
Splatoon looks fun, man. Like, I've it's not something.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fun, and
yeah.
people seem to love it. It's not for me. It's
also.
And when I think quintessential Nintendo properties, it's still not there.
Yeah, it's not up there, is it? It's
no,
not up there.
It's not.
That would probably be more at home on like an Xbox One or something. That could probably champion a system
Probably,
like that.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a big chocolate fondue like Mario and fucking Link and Pikachu and all those guys. Do you know what I mean? But it is only February as well, is what you've all got to remember. All the Nintendo fans, it's only February.
Fuck you, time is relative. Give me Mario Odyssey 2 now. Do you understand me, Nintendo?
It's a bit of a shame that I haven't got a state of play to look forward to, but if you're going to be charging 70 quid for your games anyway, then fuck your state of play, do you know what I mean?
That's what you want to do, is you want to not watch it. You want to not watch the state of play, because then you won't be excited about these games you can't afford.
Let's move on. Like we said, we've only got a few more things to touch on, and then we can get into Attack on Titan. Dying Light 2 has been a game that's been in development for a while, but it's also been met with kind of like heavy delays. It was announced for spring 2020 and it got pushed back. People are obviously getting impatient, do you know what I mean? And I fucking hate it when this happens, you know, especially because people think it's appropriate to send like death threats and stuff like that to the developers of these games.
We'll get into a bit of that with Attack on Titan, but yeah.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Right,
You're looking forward to death
there was
threats.
basically this
You
guy on
fucking
Twitter.
Sicko.
Say again, sorry.
So you're looking forward to death threats, you fucking sicko.
I'm looking forward to finding a little bit more about Attack on Titan from somebody who loves it, not someone who's watched it this week, is what I meant. Not looking forward to death threats. That is no bueno. Not in my backyard.
Talking to you, person watching this. Don't do it.
Oh god, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, no, I'm back now. I got it. I'm back in the room. What? Okay, so there was some random guy. That was reverse. That was reverse in time. Did you not get that? Did that not come across?
No.
What's it?
I just thought you'd lost it, to be honest.
It's like fucking hell, he's having a stroke.
Jay's lost the plot, right?
So some random dude on Twitter, he said something to the effect. I've got the developer's quote in front of me, but I'm paraphrasing this guy. He's like, the development's a mess. Why do you think this is taking so long? It's because the development's a mess. And God bless them, Techland, who are developing Diet Light, took the time to clap back at him, and they just put, or it's because we want you to be proud of us when we're done, so we're taking our time. The development isn't messy. Honestly, it's just a big project, and the spring 2020 day was way too optimistic, but the game is looking good and news is coming this year. We're on good track. The fucking fair play to you guys, man. Well done.
See, you can clap in shot.
Sorry.
You can clap.
Well, that was in shot. Sorry. Use that to sync us up.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, the reason that Cyberpunk came out an unfinished mess is because people were rushing the studio. Just if the people making something say it's not ready, it's not fucking ready.
So back down with the pressures, because
we get it's really fun to be excited about it. And you know what? Say Mario Odyssey 2 did get announced and there was a release date. I'd have that marked on my calendar. I'd get a tattoo with that date on my arm next to my kid's birthday, which I don't have. But if it was delayed, I'd be sad. You know what I wouldn't do? Fucking threaten to kill Shigeru Miyamoto. I just wouldn't do it. Okay. Fucking children, Jesus Christ. It's just like, my 3-year-old has more patience than some of the people on the internet. Like, Daddy, can I have a chocolate biscuit? No, you can wait 20 minutes.
I'll kill you.
She won't wait 20 minutes, but she'll wait 10 minutes at least, before she asks me again.
Sorry, mate. Oh, no, nobody wants what happened with CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk to happen again, do they? And it breeds a horrible fucking cycle for these developers, because you get death threats in the run-up to a game because you're delaying it to make sure it's a good product. You cave to this kind of investment and fan pressure, release an unfinished product, and you get a fucking more death threats, and it even led to CD Projekt Red getting hacked and some of their stuff. Like,
yeah.
I
think CD Projekt Red will be a cautionary tale.
Yes,
for
definitely.
the industry. I think you'll see a lot less unfinished games coming out, except for shit places like EA. Forget about them. No, studios that we actually want good games from and respect. I think you'll see a lot less unfinished games coming out because they don't want this horrible PR to happen to them.
No, absolutely, and also there are people on the receiving ends of these death threats. You know what I mean? Like people.
God, yeah, they're people.
They're fucking.
I've had people scream and shout at me at work. Don't feel good.
No, it's ridiculous, man. And like these people as well. Like, crunch culture's a real thing in the game development industry, and they already have to work like unsociable hours and 12-hour days. You hear a lot of stuff coming out of like Naughty Dog and Rockstar and those kinds of like horror stories. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that people seem to, off the back of that, seem entitled enough to send these vile messages, you're probably pushing some people over the edge, man. You're probably really impacting someone's life by doing that.
And even if you're not like pushing someone over the absolute edge, you're going to find that a lot of these talented people that have made games that you've loved in the past, they're just going to leave the industry. They're going to go get a job pushing numbers around a spreadsheet instead and think, I don't need to fucking deal with this.
Yeah, what a fucking tragic waste of talent that would be as well.
Exactly, and you're only as fans, you're only hurting yourselves from getting these good things in the future, from having these talented people working for these studios that you supposedly love enough to be that fucking heartbroken by having to wait an extra 2 weeks that you're going to scream and shout and tell someone to kill themselves.
Oh, trust me, and that's why I love that Techland took the time on their official Dying Light 2 Twitter account to say, shut your fucking face, it's ready when it's ready. Do you know what I mean? Fair play to you boys. Like, absolutely, more people need to be doing
It's just
that.
like, say I'm cooking a pizza in the oven and I'm like, okay, the box says 20 minutes. my oven's a bit shit, so it might take longer than 20 minutes. I already know this going in. But if I open the oven at 20 minutes and it's not done, I'm not going to fucking get it out and eat it, am I? And just suffer through the pain of eating a half-frozen pizza.
You skipped a few steps there, Jord. Like, the first thing you do is you pick it up and you see that it's going to take 20 minutes and you go, I'll kill you! I'll fucking kill you! Will you fucking go kill yourself? Yeah, you don't need it, man. You don't need it. Less of that, man.
Yeah, we'll have less of that, please. I don't want to. These headlines have been too frequent recently. We had CG Project Red. Now this. We've had, as I just briefly mentioned, there's been some serious Attack on Titan stuff.
Naughty Dog as well. That was a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, it ties in, so I'll mention it to you now.
Yeah.
With Attack on Titan. Some of the animators got death threats to the point from the first few episodes of season 4 that they've removed all of their presence from the internet.
That's ridiculous, man.
So it changed studio for season 4.
Okay.
Season 4 is amazing. It's a solid 9 out of 10. But people are pissed off that it's not 10 out of 10. I think is the problem that they're having. And they've gone from just using what I think is pure cel-shaded 2D stuff to having a bit of CGI for the Titans.
No, there was the CGI.
And there's some absolutely amazing. This is stuff you haven't seen yet, but there's some amazing fight scenes.
No, I can imagine.
And the first episode of season 6, the first episode of season 4, it's one of the best episodes of Attack on Titan that we have gotten. But people still felt the need to go and fucking harass people on Twitter. So much so that a lot of the people involved in that show have removed their presence off Twitter. And you know why that's so fucking shit? Because we don't have much of a Western anime fans. We don't have that much of a connection with the people actually making these shows that we love. We don't want them to start meeting up. At business events and saying, you got to go off that Twitter because they're fucking psychopaths. We want this connection with them. I went on. I saw this and went on and was like, right, one of the 3D artists for the latest week. I went and commented on his. He was posting some of his work, and then he posted a tweet later thanking everyone for the positive feedback. So it seems like a lot of other people had this thought process.
So you went, I'll kill you! I'll fucking kill you!
I went and said, you're really talented, like, good work, and he liked my tweet.
Oh, what a guy!
I was chuffed, but they read this shit, man. You're not screaming into the void.
No, that's the thing, man. You start to type something out, and that's where it lives and dies for you. It's a shitty email, whether it's a shitty email to a work colleague or a fucking death threat to a fucking game developer. You type your comment, you put your caps lock on, you fucking watch Jay and Jord, I'll have you know Xenoblade Chronicles is my favourite franchise of all time, go and jump off a cliff, do you know what I mean? And that's it for you, but me and Jord are going to be really hurt by that, and like the people on the receiving end. And like,
no, I think, to be fair, I think I'm still at the stage where I'll just be glad we're getting comments.
me too, actually. Okay, we're probably going to have to skip the last little bit of news that we had just because that was longer than I thought, but basically just to touch on it, Lady Dimitrescu, that's how you pronounce it, Lady Dimitrescu, she is an upcoming antagonist of the new Resident Evil game, big tall vampire woman, but during an interview with IGN, Tomonori Takada, who is the lead art director of Resident Evil 8, said that he was none of his team saw coming how fans have reacted to her, because there's been a lot of thirst for her on social media, and I don't know how you work in this industry and not hear of Rule 34. Like,
have you been on the internet before? Come on, guys.
Nah, ridiculous, man. But no, looking good. I like her style.
That's why it's Rule 34.
I can imagine that at some point in the game, though, her face is going to peel back and she'll have one of like a fucking weird T-virusy piece of crap face. She'll monster out at some point. Do you know what I mean? But
I'm sure.
For now, it's just like this classy, seductive 16th century style vampire lady. So you can see why people have gone mad for that. Do you know what I mean? But
I saw it and I was like, this is not going to end well. It's not.
Yeah, you got no right to be shocked there, guys.
Absolutely.
And that's it for news.
But before we go and take our little break before we return for the topic, I just want to say thank you. It's we've had some good numbers this week. Last week's episode has been viewed nearly nearly twice as much as the previous weeks at this point. lots of likes and comments and subscribers dropping in. It's nice to wake up every morning, got an email. Someone new that you've never met subscribe to you on YouTube. It's like, yay!
Yeah. I've been speaking to a real cool guy. I'm so sorry if you are watching. I forget the name of your podcast off the top of my head, but it was like a Dragon Ball Z rewatch podcast, and I was speaking to them, and they wanted to do some sort of collaboration further down the line. And it's good to know that like already 3 episodes, and we've got some people that are like, oh, we like what you guys are about. Get on our show as well.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We won't be thinking about any collabs until a long way down the road.
No, definitely. But it's something I'm going to be open to. But we need more stuff under our belt.
Yeah, of course. If some guy rocks around with like 50k regular listeners, like, yeah, do you want to collab? Yes, please. but obviously that's not how it works. And we get people on about our level. But we really appreciate people taking the time to ask us if that's something that we're interested in. Cause,
definitely.
Yeah, man, it's such a huge compliment that you want to, associate the work that you're doing and putting out there with ours. So yeah, thanks guys.
Happy days, man. And if you're not subscribed already, obviously hit the hit the bell.
I thought you were going to say fuck off.
Well, that too. And we're back.
Yeah. So the topic for today's episode is going to be Attack on Titan season 1 and 2, because that's where Jay's managed to get up to. We'll probably save 3 and 4 until 4's finished airing. Currently airing. We're getting episode 7 tomorrow whilst I'm recording, which I'm excited for. But
jealous.
Yeah, for now we're gonna be talking about season 1 and 2 only. I binge watched these a while ago, and I also binge watched season 3. So I'm gonna need Jay to tell me where we're at. But,
right. So we are at the very first opening of season 3, because after I finished season 2, I just wanted to see what the new opening was about, because they changed the openings with every arc, it seems. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's 2 opening changes in season 1 and then 1 through line through season 2, and I love them all, and I just wanted to see what the third one was like, and highly disappointed, to be honest with you. It's left me on a bit of a sour note. Like the last thing I watched of Attack on Titan, I was very disappointed by, but that's where I'm at.
You can't top the season 2 opening, mate. You can't. It doesn't get much better then.
Saga!
Yeah, it doesn't get much better.
No.
Than that. For all anime.
I was a big fan of fucking. Yeah, it's probably my favourite one. It doesn't sound as epic when I do it. That sounded like a beach level from one of the lesser Sonic games rather than an epic anime. Right. So why? As someone like me who's an anime virgin, you tell me you got to start watching more anime, and I'm like, all right, I will. So let's have your recommendations. Then, why was the first one for you Attack on Titan?
I think because, first of all, it's fucking good. It as far as like my opinion goes, everything you've seen so far has been bangers. It's one of the I've watched a lot of anime this past year, and I've been watching anime for about 8 years now, but I really was taking it slow until recently. And this is the one that definitely stood out the most to me. Like, the animation's fantastic, but the storyline for an anime, you don't get none of that. The main guy's overpowered, sort of shit. You kind of do a bit.
the opposite, man. Like, does Eren win a fight in this show? I don't think he does.
Levi, true protagonist of Attack on Titan.
Well, to be honest with you, in season 2 he does fuck all. He's in like 2 episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
So not really.
But no, it's just a great storyline, and it doesn't seem. They don't see, like, before you started watching it, you said, "Is there any filler that I can skip?" And I said, "No. Everything is important. Everything comes back." You've been texting me some of your opinions, like, why are some Titans? It pisses me off that some Titans look great and some look stupid. I'm just like, there's a reason for that, Jay, and it's all of this stuff. Can I start with
that one? Okay, so
sorry. Before you go, can you tell me where you're up to in the story?
Eren just unlocked a new perk point on his skill tree, Command Titan Horde. So we've had the episode where he is being sort of the attempted kidnapping by Raina and Bertrand. What's his name? Bertolt or something like that. There's an attempted kidnapping by them. The Scout Patrol goes out to get him back. He sees the Titan that killed his mum, which then kills... is it Haynes? Yep, kills Haynes. And then he unlocks a new ability that seems to be able to command the Titans, and that's where we're at. And the last shot I saw was a sweeping shot right to the top of War Maria that shows the Beast Titan with what I'm assuming is the Titan's pilot on the back of his head, this sort of shredded 8-pack goggle wearing motherfucker. So a new antagonist that I don't know much about yet. So.
big part of season 3 getting teased there. One of, in fact, the best rivalry of the entire show is coming up for you then. But we won't talk about what's coming up. We'll talk about what you've seen so far.
Okay. So I've had a great week. Put it that way. Like this show sort of took me very much by surprise in terms of how much I like it. Like I can imagine that I'll stick with this now, and it'll end up being one of my top franchises, to the point where I'll have merch and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? That good for me. Really good.
Every day that I don't have a Scout's cloak, I die a little inside. I just need one.
We need them, man. We need them. So yeah, kind of like the world that it inhabits. Kind of like. It's not like most animes where it's like inherently Japanese. Like the aesthetic of the show is way more European, kind of Swedish, Scandinavian, Finland kind of like even extending then to the characters. Like I think Mikasa is the only one who is actual Japanese person in the show, and the rest of them are kind of like
and you know it is really interesting because you find out later on that. You know, there's reason for that, and these characters, they probably aren't even being designed to look Japanese like in most anime. The world opens up beyond the island a lot more after that, and you do start to see like, okay, these people who are coming in, they're most likely not Mikasa's ancestors, but come from the same sort of place.
Okay.
And yeah, they're definitely Asian. They're definitely Japanese or Chinese, and where does that leave the rest of them? We do see people from other nations, like in our world, portrayed in the show, it's actually the first anime that I've seen, I think, that's tackled something like that.
Does that? Yeah, that's what I thought it was quite a rare thing to do, and obviously not knowing as much about anime as you do, I'm really glad you said that, because I kind of noted down here that that's not something that you see a lot in anime. And like anime is generally very inherently Japanese, with Japanese named characters and a Japanese setting, whereas this is much more not so much global. Like you obviously know where it goes, so you've just said that it is sort of like a global thing, but this is more of a like I said, the European kind of aesthetic, European named characters. Like one of the protagonists' second names is Smith, and I'm like, oh my god, I've got representation in an anime. Who's your favourite character? Try and keep it to season 1 and 2. Like, who's your favourite character?
Levi.
That I know of. Levi
by far. Levi, true protagonist. The creators came out and said it's Mikasa, and that was like, what? Everyone's like, what? It's not Eren. Like, fuck off! It was none of them. It's definitely Levi. Levi, number 1 shonen protagonist, mate. Levi, best boy.
I think Levi has definitely got it a lot more together than our protagonist. Do you know what I mean? That's one thing that shines through for me. Like, Eren is fucking certifiable, man. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't need an anime series. He needs serious therapy. Like this is a guy that has become unhinged by grief. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's not one of those situations where like the anime protagonist like Goku shouts to the sky and becomes more powerful. He shouts with fucking anguish because of the amount of shit that he has had to go through, and that extends then to the supporting characters. For me, there's never a moment in this show where they win a confrontation, and then there's a cheer, there's a celebration, there's some levity. You really feel the hopelessness of war with these characters, really. Like, everybody is kind of, especially in that first season.
It's only something that ramps up in the coming seasons. I'm glad you've mentioned that, because
yeah,
definitely where I'm at, and this won't be any spoilers. It really is just like, this is the show showing you the atrocity of war, more so than a lot of anime, and that's saying something, because a lot of Japanese pop culture is centered around Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I believe, of the bombs going off there, and without sort of mimicking that in a show, this is the true anguish of war, the series. Like,
no, definitely, it reminds me a little bit of Game of Thrones, early Game of Thrones, where you could you
can't help compare this to Game of Thrones.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the second episode, I'll give you a little thought process. So the second episode rolls around, the second and third episode, which is like the training episodes, right? And they introduced this huge cast of characters, and I'm like, fucking hell, there's a lot of characters here. I'm gonna have to remember all these names for the podcast and whatever. And then in the next episode, like, half of them fucking die, and I'm like, oh, thank fuck for that. Do you know what I mean? just because it's a lot
lots
less
of characters are introduced, lots of characters get killed off. It's one of them.
It's like when they introduced Levi's squad, then a few episodes later I was like, oh, they're introducing all the characters that are gonna fucking die in the next episode.
Okay, so I want to talk a bit about some of the supporting characters. We've got Sasha,
best girl.
Best girl. You think?
Yeah, okay, 100%. Really sad, really sad to see that she's like sort of like this food obsessed comic relief character, and then she comes face to face with what they're actually facing, and then for the rest of it she's a lot less comedic and a lot more traumatized. You know what I mean? It's a real shame that you can have a character that's got that much life and sort of playfulness about them, and then to have them go into these situations and they come out a completely different person. Do you know what I mean?
And definitely some of the most emotional parts of season 4 do involve Sasha as well.
Good.
Obviously, I won't get any further into.
Try and keep that to a minimum, because I know now if there's any situation in season 3, the tension's gone. So try not to do that.
We've got the best named character in all of anime. We got Carney Springer, which is
Carney
just the
Springer.
best name.
I don't know because I didn't watch the English dub, but Jord has, so I don't know. Carney Springer, I know Cuneo Springer. That's what I know.
They definitely don't. It's just the name that I'm sticking the accent to myself.
Yeah. So that's not his voice then.
No,
I thought it was.
No, and there's a good, that sort of team that Eren and Mikasa and Armin trained with. There's some great supporting characters.
They get a lot more play in season 2, which I really liked. They're kind of like these supporting characters get their own little spotlight episodes, which they didn't get so much in season 1. Season 1 really focuses on that core trio. But you need to when you're setting up a big fucking ongoing season like this. You need to focus on those core main characters, but then as you get more and more seasons, more and more characters get more play. People who I didn't think were going to be even relevant, people who I paid no attention to, become like key players. I was texting you. We'll talk a little bit. I'll go down my notes a little bit here, and I'm going to talk about Annie, if that's okay. Didn't pay much attention to that character. Like very tropey anime kind of tough girl, I thought. Didn't really pay that much attention to her, and she ends up becoming quite a central villain in the last couple of episodes. And I remember I was texting you. I stayed up quite late one of the nights, so binge watching it because I didn't need sleep. I needed answers, and that was the whole whole arc with the female Titan. There, when you discover that this isn't like a native Titan, this is a human with a Titan skin, and I'm like, well, it's going to be somebody that we know, so who is it? I'd noticed her in the intro, and I thought maybe Mikasa gets these abilities. That was just where my mind went straight away, just seeing the silhouette in the intro, but obviously it's not being her. And then I thought it was what's Hange. I'll talk about her in a bit as well. But
really good character. I like her.
I thought that it was her because she's super horny for the Titans, and you see that in quite a few episodes beforehand. But then in the next episode, you see her with them in the field. She's on the ground. But then I was like, so it could be that blonde girl. I didn't even.
So you guessed this. I didn't guess it when I was watching it.
But what's the motivation there? And then when it turns out to be her, it's a bit like, well, what? Why? Do you know what I mean? And that's one of my problems at the moment with the show, to be honest with you, is that I'm not and you're going to roll your eyes, so Jay, just fucking watch it. But there's a lot of mystery and intrigue, but there's the answers to those questions seem to be on a very, very, very slow burn, like a real slow burn, like more so than I'm used to. Do you know what I mean? Like the entire well, actually no, we'll talk about what I've just said. I'll let you talk about what I just said about Annie before I go to something else, because my mind's going a million miles an hour right now. It's a good show.
I didn't guess that reveal, but also that early on I wasn't trying to guess stuff because I was just like, well, I don't need to. I'm gonna find out. I'm just gonna watch through and find all of it out. And obviously we get the reveal of Annie, but you know, there's two other big reveals that we got in season 2.
Yeah, why did that happen, like kind of off camera and so casually though? Aaron, I need to talk to you for 2 seconds. I'm the Colossal Titan, he's the Armored Titan. I'm like, hang on, guys.
Hey,
do you know what I mean?
Why
was
anime
that so...
betrayals, like,
why
I mean, fuck Annie. She wasn't a big part of our main character's story, but they were the ones, like, you know, Aaron wouldn't be a scout if it wasn't for those two.
I felt that. You know what I mean? I was like, Raina, man. But then he's got that Armored Titan has got Raina's haircut, and how do we not see that coming? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it is a bit. Sometimes they seem to take on more of an appearance, and we've seen that with, I can't remember exactly when this happens, but we've seen that with the first introduction of the Cart Titan.
Well, I don't know what I said yet. Don't know that.
I mean, yeah, we've seen two people with a Cart Titan. The first one with it looks like a lot more like the person. And the second person with it looks more like how it should look, really. It just like sort of bare bones. So I think it depends on the person who's taking on the Titan powers.
I've got a real problem with the creature design in this series, though, man. Like just in terms of the Titans themselves, like the Jobber Titans, not the named ones, not the ones
pure
that
Titans.
The pure Titans, and they're just big dudes. Do you know what I mean? And it's just weird. It's unsettling, but not in the way that you want to be unsettled for something like that. Like even in the intro for the very first season, the very first episode, there's this high octane music and shots of Aaron flying around on his. I like those steampunky. Are they ODMs?
ODM gear, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. But he's flying around on that, and they're flying around this Titan. There's just like this chubby dude with. Like shaggy hair, and he's got an expression on his face that just looks like he could be going to work. Do you know what I mean? It's not. And then they hit him on the back of the head, and it's like, am I supposed to feel bad for is that what they're going for here? Am I supposed to feel bad that they're doing this to these things?
I don't think you are at that stage.
No, but they're just. Because I've played Shadow of the Colossus, man. I know how this shit goes down. Do you know? I know what you're going for here, but. I wish that they looked a little more bestial, because I can see that there are good Titan designs in this show. Aaron's Titan looks fantastic, and Armored Titan, Colossal Titan, that they all look great and bestial, and like I can see
why you'd have that complaint,
the good designs there.
We need to move on, because I'm going to spoil something if we don't.
Okay, so it's plot relevant.
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
they look like that for a reason, and you find out in season 3.
Yeah, well, they've just turned round at the end of season 2, and it's played for a big reveal to say, you know, they're descended from humans. The people from Connie's village are the Titans that we've been tracking. And Levi's like, oh my god, so all this time I've been killing people. And it's like, I could have fucking told you that. I could have told you that during the commercial break. Look at them, they're just big dudes. Do you know what I mean? Like, one of them's got a fucking mustache and the other one's going bald. They're literally just big people.
Big dudes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But if they were more bestial, if they had those, like I said to you on that text earlier in the week, whited out eyes and the lips ripped back from the teeth, just something to make them look just a little bit more monstrous. That's all I'm looking for here. But the fact that a lot of them
think
look like,
the reason that they're not is because we want them to look human. We want them to be out. You want to be able to look at the thing. Well, yeah, because we want to see that they have that sort of inner torment of, okay, fuck, we are killing people, aren't we? These aren't monsters. These are people that are doing this sort almost against their own will.
But they play them as monsters, at least to where I'm up to. Do you know what I mean? That they completely dehumanize the Titans. There's not any care paid to the morality of killing these things. Do you know what I mean? And I don't see any kind of plot reason for this that's going to make me like the creature designs more.
No,
do you know
I
what I mean?
don't think you need to like the creature
that's
designs.
my opinion. Do you know what I mean? That's my opinion.
Personally, I don't need you to like the creature designs. It's not something that's going to keep me up at night.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So,
it's just a personal taste thing, and it can take you out of scenes as well. Like early on in season 1, I actually thought that they would killing off the main protagonist super early, and that was going to be shocking Game of Thrones style. But the Titan that ends up killing Eren is just like this happy chappy with a beard, and he kind of floats into shot with very little animation, with the look on his face. It's like, "Hi guys," and like, I pissed myself laughing, and that shouldn't be happening in this moment. Should be like, "Oh fuck," do you know what I mean? Like, and there's quite a few moments in this show that are just like unintentionally hilarious for me, like during
I mean, you've sent me a few clips.
Yeah,
and I totally
the female Titan arc, and then when there is a guy on the on horseback running away, and she comes into shot and just absolutely boots him. It's like, see you fucking later, mate. And they linger on it. They keep him in shot, just him and his horse, just floating just for quite a long time. I do want to
talk about that arc if we can go back to it.
I just want to mention, for the unintentional humour, just super quickly, last episode of season 1 at the beginning, and the vicar or the bishop or whatever's giving a sermon in his church, and he's like, "Blessed be those who worship the wall, for they..." And then Eren kicks Annie into the church, and it just fucking kills them all. And I don't think that's supposed to be funny, because they show you like a harrowing shot of mangled bodies, but there was just beautiful comedic timing on that.
Yeah, there definitely are moments like that.
No, yeah, the actual
I want to talk to I want to talk more about the non-funny shots, specifically the female Titan showdown in the woods, which to me is some of the best action.
Best episode. That's my favourite episode so far.
Yeah, and you really get a sense of, okay, Levi's the grown up here.
Yes, yes,
and fucking hell, Levi's team getting killed off. I didn't see that coming.
No, me neither. I thought Petra was going to be a main character going forward. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, mate. Absolutely at the time. So did I. And
I heard that
her
voice actress is quite a big deal as well, and that was like, oh, okay, so she's going to be kind of a.
But they're probably cast
going forward,
like knowing that would.
Yeah, again, shocking Game of Thrones style. So
yeah. But I mean, like, when he carries on, you really get to see that. Okay, Mikasa will risk her life for Eren no matter what, and Levi's just like, stop being a dickhead.
Yeah, absolutely. Pull yourself together. Like,
and like at the time, I was like, okay, we're getting this fucking reveal. They've transformed into a normal person again. They've got ODM gear. It's one of them. We're getting this reveal, and we actually did. They didn't make us wait anymore. We didn't get it right then, but it was like an episode or two when they confront Annie in the town, and then we get another fucking amazing fight scene.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good kind of reveal. That sort of took me, because I'd kind of figured out that she was, because it's the only person that could have been. But when she kind of meets Armin in an alleyway, and Armin's like, you need to help us get Eren out of here. We can't let him be taken into the central wall and handed over to the government. We can't do that. Please help us. And she does. And she slips on the ring, and you don't really question it. And then as they try and go down into like that basement, and she's like, hang on a second, no, I'm not doing this, and it cuts back and you see that it was a setup. I was like, that is so fucking clever.
It was that's my favourite arc. Mid season 3, that was the best that Attack on Titan was up until that point.
Yeah, same.
Easily.
Because I found the first arc to drag it like ever so slightly. I found myself at the start.
I felt like they'd tickled our balls enough, like at the start of the season. Like, you're gonna want to see where this is fucking going, guys.
It was
stick
like
around.
fucking hell. We're still in. Is it Trust? Is it? Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, I think so.
The city. Hold on 2 seconds. Bear with me. exactly.
Yeah, I believe
it's kind of like
definitely something. That's definitely something.
Are we still in trust? Like, it's the same setting for like 5 episodes, and it dragged ever so slightly for me, but not enough that it ruined my enjoyment.
Yeah, but also there was a lot of relationship building that we needed. We want to know why these people are risking their lives for each other, like further down the line. And my partner Kate, she watched the first half of season 1, and then she was like, she enjoyed it, but I wasn't fucking waiting for her to be able to watch it with me. I binged it all on my iPad. I was like, it's happening.
Good man. Good man.
And then before I was a couple of episodes into season 4, and they actually made a film. Like, they cut loads of clips together throughout it. They made a 2-hour film of the most important parts, and Kate watched that to catch up. But she missed so much stuff, and then we've got stuff happening now with all of these characters that were almost completely cut out of that. So I get that you can, watching it at the time, you're like, this is a bit fucking boring, but it sets up so much stuff later down the line.
I didn't think it was boring. It was just the same setting for episodes and episodes and episodes. Started to grind on me a little bit. Do you know what I mean? The content of those episodes was still really good. Like with the 104th guys, they run out of gas and they need to get back to the munitions building, and they're like, well, there's Titans in this basement, so they formulate a plan of sort of getting those guys to go down in the lift with the rifles.
Oh, that was amazing. That was good.
Brilliant episode.
Really good. And I'm not the first person to say this, and I won't be the last, but if Mappad, the studio behind this, if they stick the landing, this is a modern classic.
Yes,
this will go down in history.
I can see that already.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, I won't talk about any of the content, but where we're currently at with the stuff coming out, it's just like, I'm really it's there. I can almost grab it. I can almost grab this being a modern classic, and I think I've mentioned to you as well. I think they're going to end this on a big bang of a film instead of,
there's a movie.
We've just had Demon Slayer that came out in Japan, and I know it was 2020, but while it was out, it was the highest grossing film worldwide.
Oh shit, really?
And Demon Slayer, it's a good enough anime. I think it's pretty good. I've seen everything that's out so far, and they've just announced a box set of the manga, which I'll probably pick up because it'll be severely discounted if you.
So based on that, this having a finale that's a movie of this will blow that out of the water, kind of thing. Is that what you're
potentially? Yeah, I think this could be the highest. I think we could be seeing the highest grossing animated film coming out of anywhere apart from America.
Yeah, I can kind of see that already. Just like there's a lot of weight behind this, especially in the kind of transition from season 1 to season 2. The thing that I was immediately struck by was just the improvement in the art style. Do you know what I mean? So like they put a bit more money behind it. The characters are a bit more detailed with the shading, the lighting's a little bit better. The action and effects is a lot more high octane.
Part of that was because this hasn't been airing for the past 4 years. This has been airing for like 8 years, and they took severe breaks, but that helped them refine it, make it better when it was ready to come out. And it also meant that the fan anticipation was there. And you know what, when you get something like that, it's very rare that the show comes out and actually lives up to it. It's like I said with Blue Exorcist earlier. We had season 1.
I love how you had that to hand.
I did. It was like
chef's kiss.
It was something stupid, like 8 years from season 1 to 2, and the anticipation for that was building and building, especially for me personally anyway. And it came out and it just didn't live up to it, and that killed the show. It won't get a third series.
Oh, it's a shame.
It's almost not, because it was that bad. And the same things happened to my favourite, my personal favourite anime manga property of all time, which is One Punch Man. We got season 1, which is
season 2 wasn't too great, was it?
No, it really wasn't, and it was such a step down from season 1. And you know what? For most properties, season 2 would have been good, but because of how fantastic season 1 was, I doubt we'll see a season 3. So that's
such a shame, and especially what you said about Blue Exorcist.
It's a fatality for so many great properties, but Attack on Titan's continually meeting those expectations and delivering on what the fans want.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, if something like that was 2 or 3 years after the first season, there might not have been a franchise killer. But the fact that you wait 8 years or whatever you just said for season 2 and then it's disappointing, it's no bueno. It's like you don't recover from that at the end. Yeah, I'm just having a look through my notes now, just talking a little bit about season 2. The trivia bits on Funimation didn't have subtitles in season. You know the kind of video game loading screens, the with the little bits of trivia.
I mean,
they
have
didn't have subtitles in
subtitles.
season 1, but they do in season 2. So I was chuffed to that. You just get little tidbits.
I never paused it quick enough, and I'm not a fast reader, so I haven't read a single one.
No, it's just sort of stuff like martial arts for Titans are just as effective as they are for humans, and then in the second part of the episode is that martial arts fight between Raina and Eren as Titans, you know what I mean? And he uses Annie's technique to sort of turn his strength against him. And that kind of thing. I really want to know what's going on. Do you know what I mean? I hope that.
I really want to tell you, Jay.
No, you don't have to tell me. But I'm hoping I'm hoping that season 3 gives me some answers, because here's the lingering questions. I've got a whole tab of lingering questions. Here we go. Right, so who the fuck is the main antagonist? Who's driving the Titans, and what is their goal? What's the deal with the Beast Titan? What was Annie's motive? Why do the Titans want Eren so badly? What's the deal with the church? What's going on with the Titans in the wall? What is in Eren's basement? Who was that dude with the goggles? those are my lingering thoughts.
Yeah, see, I've got all the answers to that, mate. So they're within your grasp. Personally,
all of those
you
get answered.
may already know about some. Well, actually, no, that is season 3. Come to think of it, so I've got all the answers there, and
that's good to know that they all get answered, man.
Yeah, season 3 is like, you guys wanted to know. Here you fucking go, mate.
Oh,
the end of season 3 is just like you move into season 4 in such a position like, I don't have any questions. I just need to see how this fucking plays out.
Oh, that's good. That's really good to know. That's really good to know.
Yeah, they nailed the pacing of this show has been phenomenal for me. You want questions for a while, but you also want answers. You don't want to be sat on the edge of your seat at the end of when the show's finished, still thinking, you know, comparing it to Game. It's more like the first couple of series of Game of Thrones where shit actually got answered.
Yes,
if they were
like
leading
Lost,
up to it.
Lost when did you haven't seen Lost, have you? But basically that was a whole crapshoot of setting up mystery boxes and nothing was explained. But the fact that I've just listed off all of those things and you say yes, I've got the answers to everything there. I noticed them calling Eren the coordinate. Towards the end, like, why did the coordinate end up in the hands of someone like him? So that kind of answers one of my questions, Gianni, about why they want him so badly.
What Titan does Eren have?
What Titan does Eren have?
Yeah,
I don't know any of the names of the Titans. It's just his Titan form, his Titan body.
Okay, so he's got the attack Titan, but it may be more than that, and the coordinate is part of a Titan that, you know, only some people, certain bloodlines, are able to control, and Eren doesn't happen to be part of one of those bloodlines. It is more mysteries, but again, it's more stuff that gets answered in season 3.
Okay. So, see, I thought that was the sort of allusion to that new skill that he unlocked right there at the end of season 2, to be able to be like, to aim the Titan horde almost.
Yeah, I mean, there was a reason he was able to use it there. That is cleared up. It's not something that he. That I've seen so far, he's been able to have full control of, because that'd be too fucking OP, wouldn't it?
No, yeah, absolutely. But then he might actually win a fight if he was OP. That's frustrating though, when you really want that sort of catharsis in that episode that we were talking about earlier, where it's Annie. You don't know it's Annie yet, but it's Annie Titan versus Eren Titan, and they're going at each other, and you really want that catharsis of, after watching Levi's squad get took down and just see how fucking merciless she was in her Titan form. You want that catharsis then of Eren just kicking the shit out of her. Sorry, and you don't get it. In fact, he gets his head kicked off his shoulders in that episode. It's difficult to watch, man. Difficult to watch.
And just don't get me wrong, the ending of that episode, you see the reveal of the walls are made of Titans, right?
That's the last episode. That's their fight in the city, which is framed, like you said, like an awesome action scene, but it's not like an adrenaline pumping action scene, man, because like a lot of it's filmed from the perspective of the boots on the ground, and a lot of people who did fuck all are getting. I mean, I got serious here,
you know, like Man of Steel vibes from that action scene.
Yeah.
Okay, this is cool, but like I'm worried about these people on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm worried what the fallout of this is going to be. We're going to get the Sokovia Accords Titan version. We're going to get the Isle of Paradise Accords. That's what we're going to get.
I love it. I love everything about it. Big Monkey. Big Monkey.
Big Monkey.
He speaks, man, and that sort of took me by surprise. And then that's followed. I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head, but that was one of the most difficult fucking death scenes to watch, man. Season 2's got some difficult death scenes. So the Monkey Titan, the Beast Titan 6, all the regular pure blood Titans on this guy, and they're ripping him apart, and he's crying, like, and then a few episodes later, one of the female squad leaders that's with them at the castle, she gets ripped apart, and she's like, "No, Dad, I'm sorry, Dad, I won't do it again." While she's being eaten, do you know what I mean? It's like
there are some really brutal moments.
It's hard to watch sometimes, man. Do you know what got me? And I didn't expect it to, because I wasn't a massive fan of the character, but Haynes, man, in the last episode that I've watched, he kind of comes full circle in his character arc, whereby in that first episode,
absolutely,
he didn't have the balls to even try and help Moses get out of that house, Aaron's mum. Do you know what I mean? By the way, don't you just hate it when you wake up in the morning and a 50-foot kaiju woman eats your mum? It just ruins my day
every time, mate. Every time ruins my day.
Relatable though, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just an everyday occurrence for us over here in the UK. Like, look it up. I swear.
So complete side. Can't you totally see Boris Johnson as one of those goofy-looking Titans, like the one that ate?
Oh God! I like my stomach actually turned then, mate. I'm literally never going to sleep again after that. Ooh. Oh, a lot of them are chubby as well, aren't they? I could see it. I can see it happening. Yeah, like, like that spitting image puppet kind of caricatured version with the hair but with a big smile. Yeah, I can see that. I can picture that, and I don't like that lives in my brain now.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, no, Haynes' death. I almost had the lip wobble. Do you know what I mean? I almost had. That almost moved
the
me
most
to tears.
impactful one so far. Yeah. I think more impactful than Aaron's mom.
No, 100%, because you don't really know a lot about the world or anything. No. Do you know what I mean? It's horrible to watch, and like, oh my God, like, this is going to be his motivation, but it's not like, I don't know Aaron yet, so I don't feel for him yet. Do you know what I mean? I'm more like, oh shit, do you know what I mean? Like, what a fucking premise this show's got, as opposed to, you know, this Haynes was a drunken coward and is now putting his life on the line to not only avenge, because it seemed in that interaction that they had with Aaron's mom in that first episode that they had a pre-established dynamic, that they knew each other. Do you know what I mean? So not only is he avenging Aaron's mom and his friend, but he's laying his life down for that. And
he's righting that wrong of, you know, he never forgave himself. Aaron doesn't blame him, but he blames himself, and he's trying to right that wrong.
I think you would. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, what can you do? Do you know what I mean? I put myself in that situation. Like, would I have done anything different? Probably not.
Nah, save the kids. Like, it's one of those.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's absolutely one of those.
That was one of the scenes as well where Mikasa finally showed some humanity. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think she's the closest that I get to that trope that I don't like, where is a person that can take on anything and feels no fear and can go into any kind of situation and win. It's kind of what used to piss me off about the later seasons of Doctor Who, because like in the earlier seasons, I know it's an odd comparison to make, but sort of like in the earlier seasons, at least of the revival of Doctor Who, you were terrified about what a Dalek could do to the Doctor if it was on the same in the same room as him. And the Doctor used to convey that terror. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the newer ones kind of like cut through him like they were butter, and the Doctor was sort of like cocky with him. And I feel like Mikasa walks that very thin line. But in that moment where Aaron's completely given up, you know what I mean? I'm just as useless as I was 5 years ago. I'm straight back to being that 9-year-old kid that couldn't save his mom. And she sort of puts her hand on her shoulder. She's like, no, because you've wrapped this scarf around me, and thank you. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to sort of have hard ass kind of filter drop a little bit and just be human. It was a real humanising moment for her.
I think Mikasa I think she's a great character. Until Levi was introduced, she was my favourite.
I do like Levi. Do you know what I mean?
Levi continues to be an amazing character. Like,
that's good to hear.
You get those like typical anime rants and stuff like that. And stuff like that. You won't ever see that from Levi, and most of the time he'll tell him to shut the fuck up.
He's very, very down to earth, isn't he? Didn't like him at the first. I think the first time you see him, the crowd is sort of showering them with adoration as they ride through, and he's sort of like, oh my god, these idiots, and you kind of think that's because he's like egotistical.
But it's almost more painted as someone who could turn out to be a villain to start with.
Same, but it's more so this isn't. We're not heroes, man. This isn't a noble thing that we're doing. Do you know what I mean? I am marching these people to their deaths. Do you know what I mean? So please don't shower me with this adoration.
Levi's got the skills. He's not going to die, but every time he leaves those walls, he knows that 50% of the people that he's taking out there personally will.
Yeah, 100%.
So he's a character that only gets better, in my opinion. It's been good to hear some of your standouts, but looking at how long we've been recording, we definitely need to
just sort of knock it on the head. All I wanted to say was Historia and Ymir is a big ship. Ship those guys together, 100%. Anything else? I think we've done everything, mate. Huh?
Oh, I was doing something to the camera because you weren't looking. Don't go back and watch that.
Which one? Oh no! Fucking. I already know a few things. It's always the way. I sent you something in the week, a meme I saw, and I'll go for years and years and years without seeing anything related to this media, and then as soon as I'm watching it or playing it, that I see memes that spoil aspects.
No, honestly, it's a good thing you don't have Twitter, because I know on Sunday that. First of all, it'll air in Japan, and then it'll be on Crunchyroll and Funimation about the same time that evening. But as soon as that goes on Crunchyroll and Funimation, I can't even look at trending on Twitter. It's big of a show that, I wake up on a Sunday, top trending thing, Mikasa Ackerman is trending. Okay, something's going to go down with
Mikasa.
Yeah. And it's one of those. You can't avoid it, especially on some places. So I just but before you started watching it, if you saw the name Mikasa, you wouldn't fucking know what it was. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But you've probably seen as many spoilers as me for this, because that you can't avoid them at this stage. It's such a big show. It's such a juggernaut of a show. If they do a film, I think we'll get Western cinema releases.
It's really good. It is a great show, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of my favourite things going forward. But as an anime, I don't think it's as good as Digimon. Especially not subbed Digimon, which, as we all know, is a flawless piece of media that can there's no criticism to be levelled at that. Now, the intro of season 2 heavily suggests that we're going to get dinosaurs in this, right? And at no point in Attack on Titan does a dinosaur show up and shoot fish missiles out of its chest, and that's why Digimon's a better anime. So
okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, you have to.
I don't know where you took this dinosaur thing from, but but to be fair, whenever the season 2 opening was on, I was too busy dancing and screaming at the best opening of all time.
The ending of season 2 as well. Every time that would come on, that ending. Correct me if I'm wrong. That ending tells the origin of the Titans, doesn't it?
I can't remember.
Or a shitload of backstory. It's that one that's like really creepy, kind of hand drawn. That one.
To be fair, you don't really need to know the origin of the Titans.
But I want to. I want to know what happens.
I do, because I read about it online, and I'm guessing it's stuff that's touched on more in the manga. But it's not important.
It shows a shitload of people like going out into the desert, and then it shows an empty desert, and then Titans rise from the desert. So there's this king, and he's got 3 children with him, and they seem to be feasting on some sort of sacrifice, and I'm like, so do these people consume titans, and then there's a mass exodus into the desert, and then they rise from their graves. Or
it's nothing like that. It's absolutely nothing like that.
Okay, maybe I was looking into it.
It's not interesting enough to keep it in the podcast, but it's not a spoiler, so I'll tell you when we're done recording.
Okay.
Okay. I got a question for you.
What's the question?
Azzitgewin Mates.
Azzitgewin, buddy. I ain't done much this week other than watching Attack on Titan. So do you want to talk? Do you want to go first?
Okay. So there's a new manga that I've started reading.
Woohoo!
And I'd read a couple of things about it and watched some videos of recommendations. Yeah. And the reason I want to bring this up first is because I've just been thinking of you, Jay. The whole time I've been reading that. It hasn't got a physical version yet.
I don't know if it's a good thing, actually. Cause...
It is. I'm going to show you this. This is the cover.
Mash.
Right. And this basically is Mashal, Magic and Muscles, right?
I used to be really into my fitness, and me and Jord had a thing about it. So every time I saw him, I used to tell him to fucking, you want to get in the gym, Jord? You want to get yourself to the gym, mate? We'll get you in the gym. We went to McDonald's one time, and I'll tell this story very quickly, then you can go back onto it. Okay. I ain't got much to say about how's it going, so it's pretty much all you until the end of the episode. But basically, we went to McDonald's, right? And Jord ordered his food, and I was really into it. I've let myself go a little bit since then, and I'm not so much into it. But we went to McDonald's. Jord orders his food, and he finishes his order, and then with no hint of fucking irony, the person that was serving Jord looks me in the eyes and says, "What can I get you?" I hit the fucking roof. Do I look like a person who eats Mackies? Exactly. I tensed straight away. I was like, do I look like I eat this shit? It was part comedic effect, to be honest with you. I'm not that much of an arsehole, but I had to share that with the world, man. The world deserves it. Gotcha. Do I look like a person that eats Mackies to you?
But
tell me about Muscles and Madness or whatever it was.
Mashal, Muscles and Magic. So the main character of this show is Mash, and he is the only person in this world that has no magic ability. Right. Everyone's born with like a mark from birth, and if you're not born, usually the government take you away and kill you.
I was gonna say the government
keep the bloodline pure.
Give you powers.
No, it's to keep the bloodline pure, and this whole society functions on magic. But
like a reverse X-Men.
Yeah, Mash's dad. They're not blood relatives, but he found him as a baby. Mash's dad was shit at magic, so he took him in knowing that you can live without it and stuff. And basically, they get found out. Instead of training magic all his life, Mash is out back doing push-ups and benching iron. He's
right. Okay, so it's sort of like the situation like I don't have any magic ability, but I'm going to build my body into this machine. Yeah,
it's almost he's a very simple and naive character, but his dad intended that for him. And then they get discovered because Mash goes to town to buy some cream puffs. Some pastry with cream in the middle, and he gets found out that he doesn't have any mark. Someone comes to hunt him down, and they make this agreement that he'll let him live, but he needs to basically enroll in this world's version of Hogwarts.
Right.
It's so satirical to Harry Potter to the point where you've got like Dumbledore characters and everything like that.
Oh really? Like
don't let that put you off at all, because it's fantastic. And yeah, I won't get too much into it, but like the people who basically run the government are chosen through this school, through how well they do and stuff.
Okay.
So the challenge to Mash is, I'll let you live, you get into this school and you become one of these people and you change the world for the better so that non-magic people are no longer being called. And it's just so hilarious watching Mash constantly just absolutely destroy these people using over-the-top magic with muscles, like doing everything they can but fucking better, like just through brute force.
I love this premise. I
think you'll really like it. Like you've seen the Harry Potter films, obviously. I'm guessing anyway. And when they've like in one of the early ones, they've got like the screaming root that you have to pull out the plant and like it'll deafen you. Yeah. There's the version of that in there, and obviously they're all trying to silence it. Mash just fucking smacks it and knocks it out cold. And it's brilliant.
I love it.
Okay, I'll give you one more example as well. For the Quidditch, not Quidditch, the flying lesson.
Right.
Obviously, they have to like up to get the fucking
yes.
Mash stomps the ground hard enough to cause a shockwave for it to shoot up into his hands. And then you know how in Harry Potter he gets selected for the Quidditch team because the captain sees him catching the orb for Neville, I think it is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Mash also gets recruited to this version of Quidditch, but because he set the world speed record on a broom, obviously he can't fly on it. What he does is throw it as hard as he can, and while it's moving, catches up to it and jumps on it and rides it out. It's honestly one of the best pieces of satire and comedy comics that I've ever seen.
Sound of this. Yeah.
I think it's really good. The first, I think, 50 chapters are out on the Shonen Jump Viz app, at least in the UK.
Not a paid promotion.
No, it's not a paid promotion, but it really should be.
It should be, but it's not. Just clarifying.
Absolutely go and read it. £2 a month. Go and fucking read this. It's funny as fuck. And I can't wait for an adaptation. I'm almost as excited for a possible adaptation of this as the confirmed adaptation of Chainsaw Man.
Oh, really?
Coming out in about
that's getting an adaptation.
Yeah, it got announced a couple of months ago. So we'll probably start to see some trailers in the next couple of months for that.
I'm looking forward to that. We'll talk about it on here, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of other things. I'm gonna be reading some more manga. Shocker, right?
Oh, of course you are.
I've got Chainsaw Man 2 finally shipped from the US. I finally managed to get a copy
Chainsaw Man 2,
of that.
Electric Boogaloo, very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Chainsaw Man 3 should be coming about this week. I did pre-order it, but there's still shortages. Even though I pre-ordered it, that's how in demand this title is. And that's where it is.
I had enough free time this week to be Azzitgewin, unfortunately, mate. Apart from getting scammed, I purchased something from Facebook Marketplace, and really I let my guard down, to be honest with you. Like, there was reading that conversation back, there was a lot of things that should have been red flags. Basically, what I would say to you people is that if you ever buy anything off Facebook Marketplace, make sure this might be like really common sense and I've just been a stupid, but make sure that it's either cash on delivery or PayPal. Never do a bank transfer, because I got fucking done up like a couple of kippers, man, and all I wanted was fucking Spider-Man Miles Morales from my PS5. I had the noblest of intentions. I don't know how people like that can sleep at night, man. Like, people have a finite amount of money and time, as we touched on earlier, to do the things that they enjoy, and people prey on that. Do you know what I mean? So if you see a price on Facebook Marketplace that sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And yeah, always cash on delivery or PayPal. It's it's not good. It's not fun. It's not a good feeling. But
no, it's not. Similar things have happened to me in the past, which I won't get into.
Scumbags, mate.
Fuck those people. These people are even worse than the ones who are hoarding Pokemon cards from kids.
Those fuckers.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, anyone who listens to this, go watch that video.
Before we fucking go, right?
Jay, you're just a fake fan. Is that where you're going?
No. I'll tell you. We do this podcast every week, and then Jord takes little excerpts from it and does little like meme editing using his kind of editing skills and puts them on his channel, The Sidodian, which you should all go and subscribe to. The kid is redonkulously talented. But
thanks, Jay.
We received a comment on your video there. We did a little thing about Pokemon Happy Meals and the 20th anniversary of Scalpers, and I made, and admittedly it was a fairly easily made joke about Team Rocket turning up to the drive-thru and be like, prepare for trouble, and do you know what I mean? And some guy commented and said, you're clearly not a hardcore Pokemon fan, because that joke that you made implies to me that you've only ever watched the first season of the anime and nothing else. So No, actually, no. Do you know what I mean? It's a fair assumption you don't know me, but this is a screenshot that I dug out.
If I remember, I'll send me a copy and I'll put it on screen.
Oh, will do, mate. It's my Facebook, January 10th, 2012, and it's my game card saying that I have completed the national Pokedex in Pokemon White, and there was about 500 549 of the fuckers there, or 639, but that involved a full playthrough of all the Game Boy Advance games. Fire Red and Emerald were my of choice. Heart Gold and Platinum full playthroughs. Full playthrough of Generation 5. Numerous events at game and things like that, and also tracking down friends of mine that maybe had one-off Pokemon that I couldn't get. So I hope that clarifies and clears my name a little bit for you, and I hope whoever left that comment, I'm cool enough to be friends now. Do you know what I mean? So so fuck off. No, I'm joking. Don't
ever doubt how much Jay loves Pokemon.
No, to be honest with you, anybody who knows me would have seen that comment and be like, "Oh, you fucking picked a fight with a warlock there, mate."
Just to briefly, I don't want to bully individual people, but it's sorry that we made a joke of one of the most iconic lines in Pokemon. But do you want us to use some Team Aqualine from like fucking Series 72 that no one's gonna fucking get?
Do you think that when these scalpers go to the drive-through, mate, that they've got perfect IVs? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think their EV split is? Do you know what I mean? 250 overall?
Yeah, I think so. It's got to be on it, because if not, they're fake Pokemon fans, and obviously fake Pokemon fans don't scalp McDonald's Pokemon cards.
The commenter had a bit of a sassy nature, I think. So it's not what I was going for.
But to be fair, that joke was towards the end of the video, so we do appreciate you sticking around for the full thing.
It's all in good fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. It's just a bit of a laugh. So thank you. I think that's a podcast.
It sounds and looks like one to me, mate.
Yeah, man. That was actually quite fun. I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys found it informative, comedic, and took something away from it that enriches your lives.
Yeah, hopefully it wasn't dog shit boring. That's the goal, really.
I don't think.
Sorry if you don't watch Attack on Titan, and we've just spoke about it. I didn't think we even gave a spoiler warning, but go watch it and then come back.
Fucking spoiler warning for Attack on Titan.
I'll stick it in.
Awesome. So, Jord, where can people find you online if they want to?
My Twitter is somewhere on screen right this moment. _Sidonian. I don't tweet much. That's because I have no followers. So maybe if you can follow me, I'll actually start to tweet.
I'll give him some followers. May I have some followers there? Yeah. Nice. You can find.
I need that clout. I need that internet clout.
Need that little blue tick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'm a bit far away from that with my.
Mate, you may not be verified on Twitter, but you're certainly verified in my eyes, mate.
Cheers, Jay. That's all that matters to me.
If you like your metal music, you can find me at Ataka Official, where I'm the vocalist. I don't really have much of a presence on social media that I want people to interact with, and also if you do see me in real life, we're gonna make you get a Twitter eventually if I feel the need to. But if you do see me in real life, just leave me alone. Do you know what I mean? All right.
Better not to be to me. Okay.
No.
Oh, good.
Except you can stay.
Sad.
Right, thank you ever so much for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the love we got on last week's episode as well.
Yes. Hopefully we can do the same for this week too. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to hit that stop button and see you next week.
Yeah, I'm clicking that button. Peace.
Bye. My pod is Boston. My pod is pure. I've got a Mucka. His name is Jord. It's Mukkapod. It's Mukkapod. It's Mukkapod, and we're going to talk about some characters that ain't even real, and hope someone gives a shit. Kid. There you go.